I was gonna say, no, I wasn't recording that. So sounded good, but now it's on. Now we're recording. Um, that's okay. So, somebody, okay, I don't know what AI companion is, but you're approved. I'll sign anything. There you go. Okay, hold on. Um, let's just jump in. So last week, as our example, we talked about client intake forms. And so we walked through that. And I made some examples that are on the knowledge base now that where there's some actual Google forms and how you can deliver those in a share funnel. But first of all, does anybody have any questions? Anything they're stuck on, need help with, need the group mind to go after?
I think it's good to if you had never heard of Pagewheel and someone said, I'm using this great AI tool to help me create my funnels and my lead magnets and my content. And somebody said, well, what do you mean? What is it? And what does it look like? Which blog post would you send to them is, I guess, a good question.
That's an excellent question.
Is there a blog post that kind of does this 2-minute overview that doesn't make you feel like you're getting, like kind of, I always look at the example of my mom is really into butterflies and monarchs and everything. And like one monarch is beautiful, 3 or 4 monarchs are amazing. And then you look at like down in the Amazon when they're just like covering a tree, and you can imagine what it would feel like if you were just like covered in monarchs, and that's overwhelming and gross. So
Yeah.
with that scenario, I don't want to vomit Pagewheel all over somebody and then be like, oh, you know what? I'm good. Bye.
Right. Well, we were actually talking about that in our little staff meeting this morning about that. And what's interesting about that is it helps to take time to ask them questions and understand more what's top of mind as their biggest problem.
Okay.
But you're not doing that. So you can just say, oh, you need, this is your biggest problem. Here's how it can help you with that.
I got you.
Yeah, because hold
So
on.
almost like one of those, the engagement bait posts that it makes for you. You could also almost create one of those and say, my biggest challenge right now is, and then put 4 different things that Pagewheel does and see what people are commenting, and then maybe start having conversations along those lines.
Yep.
Well, there's always intake. You conduct your intake like a job interview.
Well, yeah, but this is even before that. This is cold strangers that, if somebody were to say to me, what does it do? They're not they're not at the stage yet where they trust me enough to jump on a Zoom with me.
Right. But that the whole point in those conversations though, right, is to get to know them better. And people like to talk about themselves, and it's way less of that salesy thing, the more
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
you
yeah.
can get to know them. This is
Okay.
just the straight, the main link to learn.pagewheel.com. And
Okay.
so for example, build a product, create an offer page, promote my
Okay.
product, right? It's like even we don't even have one thing at the beginning. It's like, hey, let's at the top, what do you need? Go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and April, I imagine you are probably a lot like my wife. We can be in, 4 states away, and I'll walk up and she's talking to somebody like she's known them her whole life, and I'm like,
It
who
does
was
tend to
that?
happen. Yes.
Oh, that's so and so. I just met them.
That's funny.
You use that
Yes.
kind of engagement, it's the same. It really is the same because just use your natural, it's you. Just be you
Yeah.
in that natural social butterfly. You're talking about butterflies. Um, and and uh and that's really you. I used to have this thing, I'll have to dig it up. It was this starter thing, and the first step was build a relationship of trust. and
Yeah.
then there was like 3 steps to
Sure.
it, and doing that is just being yourself,
Sure. Yeah.
asking them questions like you said.
Yeah.
I missed you last week. I did the whole thing on intake forms inspired by your question to Holly. So
I got
to see him.
you know hit with some work, and I don't even think I was home for a week. And so
Well, thankfully the replay is up in the chat notes.
yeah, no, and I'm gonna review that, and I actually came up with a different question on creating a list, as far as, okay, with my neurodivergent mind, it's I live and die by lists.
Mhm.
Okay. And so, as I go into like copy packs,
Uh,
and I'm looking through there and I'm like, wow, they all look good.
yeah.
I mean, this one's amazing, and so is this one, and this one, and this one,
Yep.
and you can't just, like she said, throw up, copy packs on
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah.
because it'll be disorganized and it's not going to work. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, and I asked Holly this. I said, can we come up with a basic checklist that would be something, that would be
Yep.
not necessarily generic, but the basics you need to intake to get somebody started.
Right.
Um, okay, so these 3 copy packs are the best to start with. And then
Yeah.
once you have that and it's a moving machine,
Mhm.
then you can add on to that, and you can
Yeah.
expand that and grow
Yeah.
it. And
And she actually she sent me a copy of your conversation with her. And I know she gave a response of some kind of, well, it's like you need to know what does your client want, right? And so
yeah,
so our next few office hours are leading up to get to that. Because I looked at that and was like, wait a minute.
nice.
It's like, well, in order to know what they need, we need the intake, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
I made the intake forms. And
Yeah.
then and now
I just need to give all y'all my phone number so that you can call me and say, hey, it's in 5 minutes. Get on the computer. And
well, you see my notes here. Start
Sean,
recording. I still need Robert to tell me to start recording, even though I have it right in front of my face, right? We all just
Sean, I use a little app that I pay $5 a month for called Reach. And
uh-huh.
I have 30 phone numbers in a group. And before any of these happen, I send a quick text to or it does anyway, sends a quick text to all those people. If you want me to put you on that list, just send me
Oh,
your
heck
cell
yeah.
phone number.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't mind sharing that kind of information with you guys, because I mean, it's really a big extended family here
yeah.
Yeah,
with
that's
Pagewheel.
why in the Pagewheel group the other day, I'm like, I know this is not like a prayer group, but I really could use y'all's prayers. So
No, I,
yeah.
I read that, and I
So send
appreciate
me your
stuff like that.
number, Sean, and I'll just put you on my list.
All right,
Well,
perfect.
and Sean, I just want you to know you're in good company here with that brain of yours. You're very good company.
Well,
So,
that's my
you
whole
know,
niche. So
so again, there you go again. I mean, you're right. This is just this page wheel group. Kudos to Rachel and Janine and everybody for the way they develop community. I think they are, with Holly, it's a beautiful thing that has happened here.
right.
And so you're amongst friends. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Janine, I do have a burning question about the capabilities of Pagewheel, and this may be a dumb question. My daughter works for a company that does content management, but they are mainly focused on UGC,
Uh-huh.
and so, because I was showing her, I was like, yeah. She's like, well, that's more social media. We almost deal strictly with UCG. Can we integrate that into what we do, or is it already there and I'm just dumb?
I'm not sure that in fact, I can tell you, no. So anybody who doesn't know, UGC is user generated content. So this is like open the box and show the product, or whatever the thing is, the before and after, and those kind of things. And I don't believe that I don't think we've come at it with that use case in mind. So I'm going to add that to my list. And
Yeah, I mean, because from what I understand, that's kind of the growing trend is the
it
way
is
it's going. I mean,
it
they're
is
picking up
depending on
clients that
what your
are,
niche is, right? So it's
yeah,
really big in affiliate sales and e-com and things like that.
right.
It's not
Well,
there
and I
yet.
imagine you could go out and hunt down that stuff on your own and just plug it into Pagewheel. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, as far as media content, and I guess it depends on where it's marketed to, what platform,
Mhm.
and so,
Yeah, that's super big for like TikTok Shop.
uh-huh.
It's really
Okay,
big there, I know. Where we're
So
going, so I'll put that, I'm just gonna put that on my list of things to like future things for now,
nice.
if that's okay. And then, so where I was going though, speaking of lists, so we did the intake form. We're going to do packaging and pricing. Next time, we're going to do proposals. And then you can see, and then the last one is about deliverables. And in deliverables here, Sean, is where I was going to get into making some of those, of what you're asking for in those lists of, okay, if they want this,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly do I do? And I'm going to do a handful of them, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows it's like there's a point where it gets really dynamic in that it's like it's really you need to know your client and you need to know their business and which ones are going to serve them well. Because I could give an example and you could say, I have a client just like that, but we don't do that. We do this. And I was like, booyah, do whatever works best for you, you know.
Right.
But
Well, I
I
think if you made a handful of them, though, I mean, you get to a point where it's like, okay, this almost fits, and you can tweak it,
Yeah,
and you
definitely
know,
patterns to it for sure. And
mhm,
that's what, so the idea is that if you do the intake form, then you're going to find out where are the holes in the pattern for that particular business, right? Or
mhm,
customer or client or whatever you're doing.
yeah.
So that's where I'm going. So it's going to take a couple weeks to build up to that, but we're heading that way, starting
So
with,
Janine, can I ask, because I think this might be good for my community. Am I allowed to create a a Facebook event with this Zoom link and say what the topic is now that we know? So it looks like you have topics for the
oh
next three
no, are you
Mondays.
asking? Oh no, you want to bring more people to learn about Pagewheel? Oh no, it's terrible. Oh my gosh.
So, like, is that the next topic where it says how to package and price your services?
No, package and price your services is what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, she's being
But
sarcastic.
you can do that anytime you want. And yeah, I don't necessarily have topics planned in advance, but it just seemed like for this, it would be nice to go in a sequence that makes sense for everybody, right?
Right.
Yes. Um, and then we'll just see how it
So
goes.
now my brain is thinking a Facebook event
Yeah.
that's recurring on Mondays at noon.
Well, we know it's like I love Pagewheel, and so I'm happy to if you want anybody wants to do like a group thing or what I see a demo or walk through one of these things live where I can answer questions for your audience, just message me. I'd be happy to.
Right. Huh.
No,
Well,
we don't talk
I'm
with
not
it.
into gathering another time. Like they can come here or they can watch
Yeah,
the replay. Like
yeah.
I don't need to make this harder than it is. But if I created a Facebook event on my public page and then really the rest of y'all too could use that event because it's going to be public and you could invite people too. And in the event, we could keep making notes like, hey, this week we're going to do da 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 da. And then everybody else, I'm fine to share the footprint. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because it would be my event doesn't mean, oh, you have to use my link. Like, if it's my event and you invite people, it's kind of like we do with my other company that I represent, like Dance with Who Brung Ya. you know, like if if somebody's, yeah,
Yeah.
that could really work good because Facebook loves events and they love to, you know, share things like that and say, you know, hey, I want to come to your thing or whatever. And that's the another thing, Sean, is if we did that, Facebook would pop up and say, hey, your event starts in 30 minutes or whatever.
Right.
Oh, that's
And
right.
that kicked in some hyper focus and ADHD in me just now. So to take it a step further, wouldn't it, you know, because I have mastermind with Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, you know, and you look at they do their free events every year, and it's structured exactly the same every single time, and it's just you know, it's rinse and repeat, and they'll have a lot of dynamic speakers come, you know, Rachel being one, and um, you know, I guess what I'm saying is when you do your event, you know, maybe uh, Nikki is super expert at this item and have her be, you know, almost for lack of better words, guest speaker or whatever to talk about that,
Yeah.
you know, and then have Janine talk about, um, you know, giving somebody an IV. You know, I don't know. Um,
Yeah, well, that's a classic collaboration, method that people use with who have, related things and share
right.
their audiences with each other, and you grow faster that way.
Well, and then
Yeah,
all those
powerful.
people that are participating also have the fringe benefit of being part of the event and benefiting from the algorithm because of that.
Mhm.
Hey, Janine, can you make a note that let's reopen this conversation on Wednesday in agency school? Because this is, I'm assuming most of us that want to promote Pagewheel are at the agency level.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Because this could really turn into a good collaboration. I don't want my rabbit trail to hijack Q&A Monday.
That's okay.
But
We're about
I
to
think if we all collaborated, because all of us are building a business based on Pagewheel, and many of us are marketing Pagewheel. So if we all collaborated and started building a following
Right.
together.
Mhm.
That's my point right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying it's like even though, yeah, we'll move on to, the walkthrough and what we're doing today, but
Okay.
just because we're talking page wheel right now, and that's the thing, especially if you're beginning, it's like you don't sit there and think, oh, but I'm not promoting page wheel. It's like think about how you can use that framework in
Yeah,
whatever your own niche and business is. It's still just collaborating in whatever it is that you do is a really powerful way to share audiences and grow
for
fast.
sure.
Mhm.
I have folks in my, because I work with hundreds of realtors that send cards, of course, because every real estate coach, one of the first daily method of operations is send 5 cards a day. And, you know, a lot of them use our system because it's fast and easy. But these realtors, sometimes you'll come across realtors that are very scarcity mindset, where they say, oh, I don't want to tell anybody else about send out cards because then they're going to send cards too. And I'm like, there's 300 million people in America. Why are you worried that somebody's going to copy you and do what you're doing?
Right.
Like, let's all get together. There's 300 million people. I only need about a quarter of them. You can have the others.
No, I mean, yeah, it's true. I had people reach out about my book, my ADHD book, um, from out of the country.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
I
there's
mean,
8 billion out there.
right. You know,
Yeah.
and so, I mean, I was shocked and amazed, but you know, that, you know,
Yeah.
one of
Okay.
the
I'm
one of
sorry,
the
Janine. I'm going to mute
biggest,
now.
most effective promotions you can do for a book is give your book away and
Mhm.
whatnot. And so to collaborate like that, it's not like you're mm, losing out on customers because somebody else is there with you.
Yeah. And I'm making a note. We could do a whole presentation on how to use a book as a marketing tool. Okay. Ready? Let's, we'll start.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Sean. You're right. It is really good. And you get the one international customer, and then now you're internationally known. There's your marketing.
Woohoo!
Internationally known. Okay. So back to for beginners. If you're new to Pagewheel, right? And we're going to create a product and its website for opt-in land. So lead magnets are free so we call it an opt-in page or a landing page or a sales page if it's a paid product. But same process, either way you want to go with it. Now, when you log into Pagewheel, you're going to end up here on your dashboard. And we are going to start with go to the product builder. And we're going to go to, what are we going to do? Let's do those. So you can see the library of ready to edit products. These are pages that are already built in all kinds of different niches, different topics. You can search for whatever yours is and get some examples and select up to 6 of these. I think I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's see, we are doing, let's do pricing and see what happens. That's what our topic is today, pricing your products or services.
It looks like
We have
Stuart
some specific, guys, can you all mute? Somebody's got some background noise. Pricing, price. May not have a specific one for what I want to do today. Okay, so in that case, other things that I like to show you guys, workbook. We have a generic workbook that has some good pages on it. You can always click on the thumbnails here to see what the page layouts are. So regardless of their topic, if you're looking for a specific page layout, you can just click on any of these batches and kind of thumb through them to see if you're like, oh, hey, I like that page layout, or I really like this one right here. Just know that you can copy and delete these pages once you're in the editor. So you can just pull a page out of any of these batches if you want to use it. So that's a good one. And then another one that has a lot of good blank pages if you search ebook. I think I should. This one also is more text oriented. Since it's an ebook, you can always insert images anywhere there's text on a page, but this has your kind of standard ebook kind of pages that you might need. I'm not going to add that because then we have a lot of pages to delete, but once you've selected the batches that you want, or you can upload your own PDF. You could have also done that from the beginning if you already have one created and you just need a sales page. But no matter where you started, whether it's with the PDF, one of these ready-made batches, or you want to use our AI tool for pages, once you're in the editor here, you can always add more of anything else. So you'll find yourself in the workflow or on step 1 of 5. That'll just move you right on through. I'm going to pick your brand colors. If we have some ready-made palettes in here, if you have your own, you just click on add custom colors and any of the colors, and you can change the hex code to upgrade it to yours. And the reason why there are limited fonts and colors here, the whole idea here is to get you from nothing to published and selling quickly. And so we want to like not get stuck on too many decisions, right? One of these days I'm going to show up with background music for these points. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Let me just refresh the page. I don't know why. This shouldn't take anywhere near that long, and it usually doesn't. It's because it's a live demo. Okay. So here we have, this is just the sample page. It's not in your batch unless you picked one that has it, just to give you an idea of what your colors look like. So I'm gonna say, hey, that's great. That's what I wanted. Looks good. Next. Saves all my selections and moves on to the next step in the workflow. And this is I don't know, we're going to call it, this is actually my price products and services workbook. And so these little icons here are for AI assistance. So now that I have changed the title, I'm like, well, this subtitle doesn't work. So I'm going to use that and see if it comes up with a better subtitle based on my edited title. Practical exercises.
Fabulous. 4,000 East Ridge Bridge.
Yeah.
That's
Step by step.
perfect.
Expert advice. We're going to do expert advice and tips. And then if you uploaded a PDF that has its own cover, you can always select no cover here. Or if you would like a cover, there's a bunch in here. You can just scroll through and pick what you like. And then here for product mockup, this is what's going to appear on your sales page. So if you want it to look like a book or a clipboard or a tablet, you pick which one you like. I'm going to stick with tablet. Say looks good next. And this is the actual product editor. So in here is where, so we have a carousel showing us all the pages. We can select the page we want and then edit, click on the text, start editing our pages. These icons to the left, I'm going really fast on this one, right? We can, if there's a page that you're going to use over and over again, like an About Me page, you can save it. And then when you're making another product, find it later in the folder. Any of these pages, if you're like, oh, I want this layout of notes for all of the sections in my workbook, I can duplicate it by clicking on copy page. Oh, I may have just
Can you duplicate uploaded PDFs? I was having a problem doing that. It would do the pages that were native to it, but any PDFs that I uploaded, it would not duplicate those.
not. I'm going to check on that and see if that is a thing or a bug.
I don't know that I would expect it to because it's a file that you uploaded. So you would just add
Add it
another
again.
page. Yeah, that's what I would think.
I could see a use case for it, and I believe it. I feel like knowing how this works, it should be able to do it, but I'm just going to check on that for you because I'm not for sure. So, so anyway, so these pages are copied. And if you have pages you don't want, say like I only want that one notes layout, so I don't want this other one. I don't want the checklist. I can just select that page and hit the trash can, confirm deletion. And then the grid view, this is where you can organize it. So you can drag and drop. If you selected more than one batch or a batch and a PDF you uploaded and maybe some AI pages, you can move them all around and reorganize them to your heart's content here. Boop. And then we are going to go looks good next, assume that it's done. And now here we are at the end. This is the end of creating your actual product. So you have a last chance to just flip through it, make sure everything's in the order you want. You can also screen record this little animation. It makes great content for social media or whatever. And there's also just the carousel view down here to look at the insides as well. Now here, approved and published. This is where the PDF goes live. You can always go back and edit it, but if you do, you need to come all the way through these stages and republish it again for the changes to go to your live PDF. And if you do that, it'll be the same link. The link won't change and it'll update, but that's why you have to go all the way through.
Oh. Absolutely.
And guys, for the sake of what we're doing right now and our time, it's like I haven't made any edits to this workbook. I'm just going with the case study of, hey, we're going to talk about pricing. I have a Google Sheet that does calculations and stuff for you. So I would maybe make a workbook for people to take notes based on my Google Sheet, and then make a video recording of how to use the Google Sheet and deliver that on the delivery page. So, so I will clean this up before I give you guys share funnel links. But so now that we have this product, so here's the link to the product if you want to see what it looks like. This is what it looks like to your customers. and then they can download it from here. If that's all you need, if you're going to share it to a group or via email or something, you're done. That's it. If you want a landing page or a sales page to go with it, go ahead and click create my website. And we have different layouts of sales pages. We have a standard one for digital products, but we can also do shorter ones, lead magnet focused, events. If you're going to do a live webinar or anything like that, we have different structures of sales pages, e-commerce products, community-based ones. So you can select whatever you want. And meanwhile, the copy will get automatically produced by AI based on the content that you put in there. So in my case, what did this do? So 5-day challenge workbook. So it's still using the title here. So, oh, we found a bug. So this was the title of the original batch that I selected and not the one that I updated it to, right? Here, this one is correct. So I would have to go, I click on the text. Hold on, let me copy paste. And this is also why no matter what it makes, you always want to read through it, and preferably out loud. Make sure that it's in your voice. Sounds good to you. It's got all the right information in the right place. Oh, I didn't copy. And you'll see it when I clicked on this text that this section editor tab came up. And this is where if I don't like the section, I can hide it if I'm not sure about it. I can refresh the AI by hitting the recycle. No, I'm sorry, these are the layouts of the hero pages. So if I want a different kind of layout, I can click on here.
So when you say hide it,
so like say I like the mock-up, but I don't want these 3 bullet points on here, right? So but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I might want them,
you
I
can
might
hide
not.
sections of it.
So I can hide it versus deleting it and it's just gone. Right?
Got it.
Of course, even if I delete it, I mean, I can go back here and do add a new section and find the 3-part section. And there's a couple different layouts for them and add it back. But yeah, if you say I wanted to do a long, you know, I don't know, some long form sales page. So I'm doing something a little out of beyond what Pagewheel is doing for me. I might hide it while I'm going through my process. And then in the end, I would probably, if I knew I didn't want to use it, I might delete it, or it might be something, say I'm going to do, I don't know, a live webinar and then it's going to be evergreen later. Maybe I'm going to hide it for the live event and then copy that share funnel and then unhide it for the evergreen version once I have it recorded. You know, there are different reasons why you might want to hide it or not. But
Janine, I've noticed that sometimes see how it says this is for you if, does that mean that's hidden because you can't see it very well?
See how it's grayed out?
I know.
Yeah. See, and the eyeball has the slash in it, it's hidden.
Oh, okay. Because I had that happen the other day and I didn't even think to look for that.
So you can still just click on the text for this tab to come back up and then click on the eyeball again. And now the slash is gone and it's back.
Oh, maybe that's what was wrong.
Yeah. Maybe that.
Oh, I got it, Sean. I'm going to put it in my system right now while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. All right. So you've reviewed the sales page. Everything's the way you want it. And we're going to say looks good next. Okay. So looks good next saves all your edits in the editor. Whether you're doing it for the first time or you're going back to, say you want to change something on your sales page for later, you still have to go all the way through to the end to publish it and make your changes live, either your new page live or your changes live. Okay, so now we're looking at the delivery page. This is what your customer is going to see after they opt in or purchase your product. So this is reminding them of why they got it, what it looks like, and the link to the PDF that we made to that actual workbook is automatically connected to this button. So you don't have to do anything. There's no tech there, which is pretty awesome. This second button, this community one, we encourage people to build their businesses using communities. And so that's why we have this on here. Nothing is actually connected to this button. You can highlight it and then click on here to add a link to anything you want. If you want to send them, you know, give them the option to find you somewhere else or join your community or whatever it is, or you can hide it or get rid of this section if you don't want it. But we have that automatically in there for you. So that's the delivery page. Then we're going to say looks good next. This is what it looks like if you're going to share it on Facebook. There's a couple different photos in here you can cycle through and pick the one you like. You can also edit your metadata here. If you're using pixels to track, we take Google Analytics, Pinterest, and Facebook pixels. If you're using something else, let us know in customer support and we'll help you out with that. We'll go looks good next. Is saving those changes. Now we have the delivery email. Same thing where it's automatically populated with the links for the thing that you just made. So you don't have to worry about that, but you do want to go through here again and everything, delivery page, the delivery email, go through here and make sure it sounds like you. So here it's got like placeholders. So it looks like actually AI failed and it's saying, I need to tell it. And that's because I put a generic workbook in there. So it probably doesn't even know what to do with that. I'm not going to edit all that right now in the interest of time. I am going to go back though. Let's go back to the previous step because in this case, I blew right by what we were trying to do. So in the delivery, on the delivery page, in this case, what I want to do is I want to say, yes, you know, I want them to get their workbook, but then the next thing I want to have happen is say I have a recorded video of how to use the Google Sheet. So I'm going to, I like the proportions of that one oh, that's images. Okay, so look, I keep clicking on here. I can get rid of this section because I did the wrong thing. Go back.
I do that all the time. I forget to toggle.
I know, and it has to be, it's like, okay, this is an actual video, but there we go. Okay, so I'll just pick this one. The video does have to be hosted on YouTube, but all you have to do is plug in your link and it'll put it in there. And then in my case, we might do something like this, right? Where it's like, make a copy. Just oops. Get your pricing calculator. Follow along. And then I have, let's see, I have my copy here of my link. And just add that. And so what I've got here now is it's not just delivering the workbook to go with it, but it's delivering the whole thing, right? I want to teach what they bought from me was how to price their products and services. And here's the actual sheet. When they click on it, it's going to go to that where they can make a copy. And then meanwhile, and they have the follow the video tutorial right here. Everything they need is here on the delivery page. And so I don't have to do anything after this as far as delivery. It's already done. And then let's see, we'll save this and move along. They will still get, oh, did I do that on the sales page? Okay, let's pretend I did that on the delivery page. They're still going to get the email here, which is good because then they'll have the links, right, to the PDF. And I might go in here and say like, actually in this case, let's just, don't edit, don't have two open editing pages in Pagewheel at the same time. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to go back to the dashboard because now since what I'm delivering is all hosted on the delivery page, I may have to publish and go back around in a circle. Let's see. Nope, there it is. So website. Oh, I didn't want to do that. What not to do. from your dashboard, once you've created this, you have this little your links. And here I can grab a copy of the link to my delivery page. And I'm going to close this to make sure I'm not editing stuff in 2 tabs. And in my email, somewhere in here, I'm going to tell them, here's your tutorial, right?
Janine, this would be a good spot for you to say why we never, ever, ever want to have 2 tabs open.
Yeah, you'll lose work because Pagewheel has automatic saving capabilities. And if you have 2 tabs open, then it's trying to save in both and it doesn't know which one is the final version and it gets really, really ugly. So just don't do it. But
Do we have a workflow chart for this? I know that it does it and it's going to put it in the right places and everything on the website, whatnot, but my brain wants to see it all on like workflow.
What you're asking for.
You don't know what I'm asking for? Like just like a chart, like you know, with here's your product, box number 1, and then you go here to building it, and then here to this email, and this email goes here, and
okay,
like a flow chart.
Like a flow chart.
Just open up a Google Doc and take a screenshot of each one, and they're numbered. See, this is like step 5 of 5.
Okay, so that's what that is.
Yep.
All right.
So.
And so that correlates with the whole sales process, though, those numbers.
Yeah, this is so, hold on a second. Let me publish it so I don't lose it. Again,
Good job.
Okay, and now that was taking me over to copy packs because I said yes, promote it. Okay,
Sean, have you ever tried Scribe?
I have not.
Okay, just make a note and look it up later. Scribe does exactly what you're asking automatically.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, even if I had to manually fill it in the first time, it just helps me to visualize what I'm doing, because maybe I want to tweak one of the emails later or whatnot. And then I'm like, in my mind, they're all swirling around in a little tornado, and
just go through and make yourself a test product, and you'll see up in the corners here, up in this top bar, you'll see the little steps, and you can just screenshot that and make that list for yourself really quickly.
Perfect.
Yay.
That's why you're so awesome.
All right, so that was it. We created it from start to finish, all the way to getting it live. I exit now, it's out. Okay, so I'm going back to the dashboard so you can see we didn't do the open up the sales page and delivery page to see that it's live, but you can do this from your dashboard where you can open it up and boom, there's our sales page. And same thing, boom, there's our delivery page. And I had those things on the wrong page. So I will fix that before I'm going to go through everything. I know this was just quick and dirty. That's just for new people who are watching this to get an idea of the flow of Pagewheel and how you can go from nothing to published in just a few minutes. And we did that like super fast, which is awesome. But now let's jump into like, what is that thing that I just did? This is for those of you guys who, whether you're starting out or not, it might be helpful for you, or if you're in the business niche, it might be helpful for your clients. So this thing that I have for you guys today is a pricing calculator. And so I might actually like take a clip from this video that we're doing right now, edit it out and use that as the delivery video of how to use the Google Sheet. But you can do it just a screen recording from your computer like I am, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Or you can do a Loom video or whatever works for you. But what this is I just copied it. Okay, it's just a really quick walkthrough of pricing. You'll see there's 2 tabs. There's for services and there's for products. So on the services, I just wanted to give you an example of, say, you're doing an audit and this kind of fits those intake forms that we did last time. So you take an intake, and now they give you all this information about their business and their goals, and now you're gonna go through and find the holes in their strategy or where they need the most work, and that's what you're gonna come back with. So the service, so an audit, what's in an audit? What are all, you want to make sure that you're charging for all of the things that you're doing. So we had that initial client call. They give me all their information. Then I went and reviewed it all, got on a call with them and had that actual conversation of what is really going on. They could answer any questions I have from their intake form. It's super detailed, and most of the time they can't answer the questions, but by the time they come on a call, they have the answers. And so that's why I give 2 hours for that. And then so a call, the intake review is where we're going to take all that information again and talk. Well, there's different models, right? You may talk to the person first and then sell the service. In my case, I would sell a consulting hour, and that's where we go over all the intake stuff. And then I would give them a proposal for any work, potential work from that call, along with the audit results. So there's different models that you might do this for, but let's just say the call takes 2 hours and I'm going to do that. I'm a medium resource skill. All right. And this is as far as taking, you want to make sure that you are accounting for all the time that is being spent, whether it's being done by you or someone else. You want to make sure you're pricing it for the level of person who would be providing that service if it's not you. So you don't want to pay yourself $2 an hour. It's illegal, and it's mean. So just don't do that, right? You want to account for all of that. So, or a high level thing might be, say I need, a tech specialist to do something for them, and they're $80 an hour. I don't have anything high for this particular service, but these other things, putting data entry, this might be, I have an assistant or a VA of some kind doing these services for me, and they're $15 an hour. But you get the idea. Different parts may have different rates depending on the nature of the work. Okay, so, and these are the actual rates for my low and medium resource skills. The labor costs, this is just calculating based on the number of hours. So that's why we love spreadsheets. It does the math for us. It's coming up with our labor costs for each part. And then the value markup, this is how much it's costing me. This is how much I'm going to charge. So I've got a 4 times markup for me. I've got a 5 times markup for my assistant. And then this is finally my net margins on that, right? Because
and this document's available in the Pagewheel documents.
Wait, say that again.
This spreadsheet.
Yeah, so this spreadsheet, when I give you this share funnel, is going to be on the delivery page. You're going to be able to make a copy of this spreadsheet. That's my bonus for you guys today. This is what you get. So then I just have here examples of other services that you might be doing as an agency. But again, if you're not, doing marketing services, or you can see how you can use this for whatever kind of thing that you are doing. And basically the pattern of breaking down the overall service that you're providing for your client down into its parts, and who's doing what and how much do you pay them, right? And how much you're going to mark up, because we have to pay taxes and we have our own marketing budget and all the kinds of things we have to do with our business. We want to make sure we're marking up the services properly. So that's for a services pricing. Product pricing, I just wanted to give you guys some general guidelines here, because this can really vary in how people approach it. But just to give you general guidelines of things, especially in the online world. So I went about this just in the ranges of prices of things, just to give you an idea. So of course there's the lead magnets, they're free. But once we start into, you might hear it called tripwire, you might hear it called low ticket. These are the typical prices that you see them. This should actually be a 47. These kind of products, they're typically just, here's your thing, right? Here's your pricing spreadsheet with the video to go with it. And there's no interaction between you and I. You're buying it off my website, you get the thing, you're done. The things to consider here. Now, I put this question, so typically these are DIY, they might be templates, they might just be, you know, a tool, a thing. Order bumps are in this price range as well. But I put this question here, profitable with ads. Not everybody uses ads. Some people are pure organic traffic. But also there are different business models out there. So, you know, we could talk about funnels another day, micro offers or tiny offers. Sometimes people, they don't necessarily have an order bump or a complex funnel of things to raise their average cart value, but they have a library of these mini price things where presumably someone's gonna, they may not be profitable for someone who buys one $7 thing off of their ad, but they have their customers average lifetime value based on other things they buy from their library is higher. So there are different business models out there. I just want to keep that in mind. Then we have the $50 to $99 range. These are usually the order bumps when you see that, hey, if you see this, you might want this too. And that order bumps, you always want to make sure that they don't need that to accomplish, to solve the problem that you're selling to them in the first place. If they have to buy the order bump in order to get there, then they're going to be really mad. It should be a bonus. It should be something that otherwise supplements what you're doing. And it can be as simple as sometimes it's just different formats, like an audiobook instead of an ebook or a video or something. It doesn't have to be a full-on new build of something.
Janine, the order bumps that are coming in Pagewheel, I don't know if they're here or not yet, but they're going to be, like, for instance, the other day I ordered something. It was some sort of subscription. Of course, my intent is to cancel said subscription before it renews. But at checkout, it said, hey, do you want a different flavor for half off right now? And I was like, well, sure, because now I really am going to cancel my subscription. And I did. Of course, it came through as a separate charge later. But, you know, I was like, that's kind of a great idea to have an order bump that's actually a discounted thing. Hey, if you don't order this right now with your order, if you decide later to get it, it's going to be full price.
Right. There's that. There's also sometimes, yeah, you'll see a lot of different things. And we can do that in another office hours. It's like where you'll see it'll be discounted if it's a larger ticket item. Sometimes an upsell or downsell, depending on how they do it, is oh, you don't want it, you don't want this, but what if we give you, you know, 6 months payment plan? So they didn't even make a new thing, but the downsell to it was, well, if you're not going to buy it at full price, maybe you'll buy it on the monthly plan. There's all kinds of different ways to do that. And
Netflix does that to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to watch a 10-hour movie? No. How about if we break it up into 10 episodes and release them all at once? Oh, okay. Give me some popcorn.
Right. Yeah. The thing about that though is it's like, again, you don't want to make people mad, right? It's like you don't want to sell them something as an order bump for $40 and then they see it on your product catalog for $30, right? Generally, when you're adding something within a funnel like that, it's the better pricing that they can't find anywhere else. That's the whole idea, is like, it's the, oh, you're going to miss out on the best deal ever if you don't get it right now. But you have to actually stick to that in your product catalog. And sometimes people don't. And then it turns into a customer service mess and mad people and a bad reputation. So you want to be careful about that. Okay, so 100 to 299 is good for courses. This is more done with you than the DIY kind of thing. There might be community or office hours. The community might just be a pop-up style, so not forever. Just depends on the nature of what it is you want to provide and how you want to provide it. It costs more, but it's usually a deeper dive into a topic, right? And like like I said, there's either more done with you or more details into really helping them get to that solution that it provides for the problem that they have. And then as the prices go up, sorry, I know we're running out of time. It's just, you generally are progressing from like done, do it yourself, to done with you, to done for you, low touch to high touch, less comprehensive to more comprehensive. And when you get up into the higher ticket services and stuff, I mean, obviously, if you're selling 10,000 and up packages, there's usually a longer time commitment. You know, like say, I'm doing a data analytics package for a Fortune 500 company. It's like they're not gonna, they don't hire people in these ranges, right? That's just ridiculous for them. But it's a much bigger service. It's going to take a whole lot of people to provide the delivery. There's going to be a lot of reporting requirements, and we're going to do it for at least a year, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. It just depends. So all kinds of ranges on pricing. And sometimes you'll see people will, it's like the price doesn't dictate the quality at all. But I wanted to throw this out there because you guys, you know your stuff. Don't be afraid to price where you should be. Don't be scared, and don't undervalue what you have to offer, because you guys have great things to offer and you should be charging for it. And people will be happy to give you their money because you're helping them out. Okie dokie. Nikki? Yes?
I'm just going to reiterate what I've taught coaches for 20 years. You should have about 20% of the people, questioning your prices. If you're selling correctly and people understand, first of all, the value proposition that you've got going, then those prices ought to be high enough that about 20% are questioning them. If you've got your value proposition out there and it's rolling wood good and nobody's questioning your prices, get them up.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's also a way to manage, right? To manage your demand, especially if you're doing one-on-one services. It's like you don't have to turn people away, just raise your prices and keep going and let that throttle it.
Manage your worth.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll through the chat here. Does anybody?
I got my question fixed. I have no idea what I did, but I just keep I've been playing with it and playing with it and playing with it, and it finally went.
Yay! I'm
Janine,
sorry.
I don't know if you'll see it or not because it's sort of up. It was just to you. It says, I'm meeting with Shannon today at 3. We're going to build a product to promote Pagewheel because she's also at the agency level. Somewhere in my mind, I'm thinking there's already a funnel to promote Pagewheel in general. Did you build one of those already and I missed it? And if you did, can you just messenger it to me on Facebook?
Okay, I will take a look at mine and the page. You'd think that we'd have one, right?
I feel like we do, but I just can't put my brain on it because I've got so many copy pasted things everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, I will check on that when we're done here. Funnel for April. Okay.
It's not till 3, so I've got 2 hours until our meeting.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right.
And I was thinking that could be a little bit of the answer to your question too, April, because I was thinking the same thing earlier, that part of my question is, so what if they're not asking, but I want to go out and say, hey, you ought to be aware of this product because there's some good stuff out here for you.
Yeah.
So I want to give them just a little bit of something to make them come back and say, oh, tell me more about it.
Right. That's exactly what I'm thinking, because I do have my memberships, which we know are like basic and then VIP level. But if I can capitalize on the fact that I do have an affiliate link for Pagewheel, and I'm going to see when they sign up for that, then I can go have a conversation with them. Do you need to transition over to one of my memberships?
Yeah. But to your, I think that's what I've been doing is just sending the affiliate link. To the question that you had just asked too about, is there like a generic commercial for Pagewheel? That would be another use for that.
Yeah, because I feel like there's enough short, Rachel's got more than a few short videos that
There's
she was doing for a while that we could make a little sales page out of those short videos.
Yeah, she put some, there's for affiliates, there's an affiliate resource section that
Yeah,
has,
but there's no videos in there.
yeah, and then I think she's put everything else straight into the group.
Yeah, there's no videos in the affiliates resource center.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that one for you.
And she's got some really great short videos that I would love to download, but I've sort of resorted to screen recording the video. Sometimes if there's a video I need from her, because I'm too cheap to pay for YouTube Premium, so I can't download from YouTube, but she said there's a current page if you want to look at it. Oh, okay. I'll open that up and look at it after we get done.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, so and Shelly had a question. So Shelly, we actually, so like order bumps and upsells, we're actually testing right now. Those are pretty imminent, as are custom domains are coming up too. So those are the next things, but I'm never gonna say a day because then I'm gonna jinx us and there's gonna be bumps. But they're on this month's new features for us.
We under promise and over deliver, but we never over promise.
Right. We promise we still have the you found a bug game going on as much as we test it. But yeah, and if you ever have difficulty with something, be sure and let us know in intercom or email if there's anything you're stuck on or not acting right. Let us help you out so you don't stay stuck very long.
There you go.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything before we carry on into go forth and conquer?
Hey, April, you asked to see that page. If you want to look at it again with the membership in there, it's not done yet, but I dropped the link for you and anybody that wants to look at it. I have
clicked
Sean's
on it so I
brain,
can
which
look at it
means-
when we get done. Yeah, I did click on
Yeah,
it. I
if
like
anybody
your
sees-
logo. It looks good.
If you see any typos, let me know.
Okay.
So Janine, that delivery where we're going to get those spreadsheets.
Yeah, let me, Sean,
Where am I finding that?
it's going to be in a blog post. Since you're here, you guys get it right now. There it is in the chat. Oops, nope, I sent it to April. Sorry about that. April gets it twice. Let me make sure everybody.
That's because she's
Okay,
special.
so there it is. And then the demonstration that I did, I know that was really quick and ugly, but I'm going to clean that up and have a share funnel for you. And it'll be in the delivery page.
You're
Sean,
the
did you
best.
mean special or special needs? I think sometimes.
I mean, in my world, it's all the same.
Yep. So you have that. I hope it's helpful for you. The share funnel, if you happen to market to if you're a business coach, it might be useful for you. Yep. And then next time, so we did intake, and now we're like pricing and stuff, and now we're going to take that and talk about proposals next time and give you an example proposal.
All right. So here's my thought then, moving forward this is for Monday coming, right? Monday the whatever,
Yep.
the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create a public Facebook event. In that event will be the replays from last week, and then when Janine releases this week's replay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to be signing up for part 3, which is coming up this Monday to watch. And then in the Facebook event, I will say, whoever shared this with you has an affiliate link for this tool. I'm not going to put my affiliate link in there. And then that way we can all use that event to invite people, and we'll have a big crowd here next Monday.
Yeah.
No pressure. No pressure, Janine.
No pressure. It's okay. I'll I'll be ready. If I'm not, I'll do it on the fly.
And I promise I won't show up and start the whole conversation in this with a rabbit hole at 20 after.
No, it's okay. No, and I love your guys. It's like I love seeing new faces. I love the same faces that are coming every time. I feel the same way. It's really just a fun, friendly, supportive group. And I really hope that I'm giving you guys stuff you can use and helping out.
Hey, if anybody wants to have a page wheel retreat at my house,
The
that
lake.
would be super fun. You guys come down to the lake and we
I
can
was
get on
just
the
gonna say-
boat.
Yep.
You have a lake, I'll be there.
I have a lake. I live right
I'm
on it.
down. I have a fishing pole.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. All right.
That would be fun. Right around the corner, there's a bunch of those little tiny houses that you can rent right there on the water, and it's like 6 minutes from my house.
Nice.
That would be, and then that way everybody could like have their own space, because not that I'm against staying in the same house with people I don't know, because I've totally done that before too. But
Be careful what you ask for.
I know Janine knows there's any day now I'm going to show up at her door and go, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I've thought for a long time that we need to do some sort of a page wheel seminar retreat,
oh,
whatever.
I would totally be down for that." Yes.
Yeah, Robert's ready.
But maybe we all ought to support Rachel in doing that, and we'll show up and be honorary hosts for her big Page Wheel Live
Oh,
event.
she doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be the guest speaker at this retreat.
I gotta go, guys.
See you.
That's so funny.
Guys, have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
All
And
right. See y'all.
I'll have
Right.
this ready by Wednesday.
Okay. And you're going to check with, see if you've got something that Sean and I can use today.
Yeah, I'll look.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. See ya.
See ya.